Hello, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to see conduction with heat generation in a cylinder. Now, let us understand. Let us say there is a cylinder. Let us draw the cylinder. Let us say this is the axis of cylinder. Here I am going to draw axis of the cylinder, right? And let us say the cylinder is like this. If I check cross section area, it will be circular. Definitely for a cylinder, the cross section area is circular like this, right? And let us say here the radial direction is r. The radial direction is r. Let us say this direction is radial direction r, right? And if I check this cylinder, let us say the length of cylinder is l. Length of cylinder is l. So let us draw the length of cylinder, right? If I draw here the length of cylinder, the cylinder will look like this. The cylinder will look like this, right? So let us draw this properly, right? The cylinder will look like this, right? Here it is having circular cross section area like this, right? And here we are assuming uniform heat generation, and here let us say this is the axial direction, z. Axial direction is z. It is the axis of cylinder, right? You can see this is the axis of cylinder, and z is the axial direction, r is the radial direction. And there is one more direction, that is azimuthal direction, that is angular. Here we can say r is radial direction, right? R is radial direction, z is axial direction, z is axial direction. And let us say phi, which is also called azimuthal direction, right? Phi is, we can say, azimuthal direction, right? Now, my dear students, for azimuthal dimension also, let us say phi will be like this. Let us say angle between radial vector and here angular, this will be phi, azimuthal direction, that is angular direction. There is change in radius is azimuthal direction, right? Now, my dear students, here let us say the cylinder is having some length l. Let us say the length of cylinder is l. Capital L is the length of cylinder, right? And my dear students, let us say for this cylinder diameter is capital D, right? Total diameter of the cylinder is capital D, like this, like this, right? Therefore this is the diameter of cylinder. Now, as we are looking for conduction with heat generation in a cylinder, right? As there is a heat generation, so here let us say Q dot is uniform heat generation rate per unit volume. Let us say Q dot is uniform heat generation rate watt per unit volume, that is meter cube, watt per meter cube. Therefore, we can say here Q dot is nothing but heat generated per unit volume, right? Therefore, my dear students, here we can say the heat generated will be equal to, therefore heat generated Q will be equal to Q dot heat generated rate per unit volume into volume. This is the heat generated, complete heat generated in the cylinder, right? And we know that how to find the volume of cylinder. How to find volume? The volume of cylinder is area, that is pi r square, right? Or pi d square by 4, right? Pi by 4 d square, also we can say pi r square. This is the area where r is the radius. R is the radius of cylinder, which is nothing but diameter divided by 2, capital R, right? Into length, into length. This is how volume is calculated, that is area into length. Area is pi r square, right? And into volume, area is cross sectional area. This pi r square is a cross sectional area. Now, my dear students, let us write generalized 3D unsteady conduction with heat generation through a cylinder. Now, my dear students, in previous lectures, we have derived this type of expression for the plane slab. But here for cylinder, we are not going to derive this expression. Here directly, I will put here a result, because the derivation of cylinder is not that much important for competitive exams as compared to plane slab. The plane slab derivation was very much important. That's why I have considered, or I have taken there the derivation, and that derivation completely for 40 minutes we have taken this derivation. Now here for cylinder also we can derive this generalized 3D unsteady conduction equation with heat generation, but there is absolutely no need of this. So directly remember this equation, right? If you remember the equation, then only it is more than enough. Again, in the equation we have to check, we have to look at the special case only. So if you remember special case, that is one directional without heat, one directional steady state, that equation also if you remember, then also for competitive exams it is more than fine, right? Now let us understand, try to remember this equation. The generalized equation for the cylinder with heat generation for three directional and unsteady. The three directions are radial direction, axial direction, and azimuthal direction. the equation becomes dou 2t divided by dou r square, dou 2t divided by dou r square plus 1 upon r, dou t by dou r plus 1 upon r square, dou 2t divided by dou phi square plus dou 2t divided by dou z square plus q dot by k is equal to 1 upon alpha dou t by dou t. Right. This is the generalized expression for cylindrical coordinates. Right. Where r is a radial direction, t is a capital T is a temperature, phi is the azimuthal direction, that is angular direction, and z is the axial direction. Q dot is uniform heat generation rate per unit volume, watt per meter cube. K is the thermal conductivity of cylinder material. This cylinder will be having some thermal conductivity. Therefore, K is the thermal conductivity of the cylinder material. Alpha is the thermal diffusivity that already we have seen in previous lectures. This alpha thermal diffusivity is nothing but thermal conductivity divided by rho Cp. Right. This is the ratio of thermal conductivity to the heat capacity, where K is the thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity will be having unit. The unit of thermal conductivity is watt per meter square Kelvin. Rho is density in kg per meter cube, and Cp is specific heat in joule per kg Kelvin. Joule per kg Kelvin. Right. Specific heat at constant pressure Cp. Right. Now, my dear students, here this alpha is thermal diffusivity. Right. Now, my dear students, the special case of this equation, that is the conduction with heat generation in a cylinder. For this equation, the special case is we are assuming that the heat transfer is in one direction, 1D heat transfer. That means the temperature is a function of only radial direction. We are assuming the heat transfer along a radial direction only, and in azimuthal direction, in angular direction, as well as in axial direction, there is no heat transfer. That we are assuming. Because of this assumption, we can say the change in temperature dou 2t divided by here dou 2t divided by dou phi square will become equal to 0, which is also equal to dou 2t divided by dou z square. Right. This is how we can write, as it is not a function of phi and z direction. And second assumption, this is the first assumption. Second assumption, we are assuming that the flow is steady. Heat transfer is steady state. Right. Steady means temperature is not a function of time. Right. That means change in temperature with respect to time will be equal to 0. Right. Therefore, here this term will also become 0. Therefore, here our assumption is steady one directional heat transfer with internal heat generation through a cylinder. Right. And for this, we are going to do analysis. So, my dear students, if I assume steady, this term will get cancelled. We can say here this term will get cancelled, as well as this term will get cancelled. And if I assume steady, here this term will get cancelled. This term will get cancelled. Right. Therefore, the equation will become here. If I assume steady one directional heat transfer with heat generation, the equation becomes here dou 2t divided by dou r square plus 1 upon r dou t by dou r plus q dot by k is equal to 0. This will be our equation, and for this equation we are going to do analysis. So let us assume one directional steady with heat generation equation. So equation will become dou 2t divided by dou r square plus 1 upon r dou t by dou r plus q dot by k is equal to 0. This will be our equation, right? And heat transfer is along only radial direction. Here the heat transfer will be along only radial direction, that is radially outward. If inside temperature is more, then heat will flow radially outward. So my dear students, let us observe here. Now whenever radius becomes equal to r, right, whenever radius becomes equal to capital R, that is extreme surface, that is we can say extreme surface, right, that is circumference. Here outside surface, the surface is subjected to wall temperature. Therefore whenever radius is r, the temperature will be wall temperature. Temperature will be wall temperature, right? T wall, right? Now after first integration we will get temperature gradient for this equation, and after second integration we will get temperature profile. That already we have done in plane slab problems. Similar procedure here we are going to follow. Now, my dear students, multiply this equation with r. If I multiply this equation with r, then I will get r dou t divided by dou r square plus dou t by dou r plus q dot r divided by k is equal to 0. Now, let us put this q dot r divided by k on right side. Therefore, the equation will become r dou 2t divided by dou r square plus dou t by dou r is equal to minus q dot r divided by k. This will be our equation. Now, my dear students, in mathematics, we have one UV rule for the differentiation. That is d dx of u into v is equal to, if for the such type of differentiation we keep u constant, derivative of v with respect to x plus v constant, derivative of u with respect to x. This is called UV rule. Now the same UV rule apply here. Can I apply here UV rule? And this will become dou x of, sorry, dou r of, here variable is r, dou r of r into dou t by dou r, right, is equal to minus q dot r divided by k, right. See here, if I expand this, then r constant, first of all r constant, derivative of dou t by dou r, that is dou 2t divided by dou r square, plus, now dou t by dou r constant, dou t by dou r constant, and derivative of r with respect to dr, it will become 1, right. Means same expansion we will get. Therefore the same term, that is this r dou 2t divided by dou r square plus dou t by dou r, we can write dou r of r dou t by dou r, right. Now my dear students, this will be our expression. Now here this will be our expression, right. From this expression, if I integrate this expression, I will get first dt by dr, that is temperature gradient, and if I again integrate, I will get temperature profile. So let us find this temperature gradient and temperature profiles. Therefore we have expression that dou r of r dou t by dou r is equal to minus q dot r divided by k, right. Let us integrate this equation one time. If I integrate this equation one time, right, then I will get temperature gradient. Let us integrate. If I integrate, dou r of r dou t by dou r is equal to integration minus q dot r divided by k, right. Now my dear students, this integration and differentiation will get cancelled. Therefore r dt by dr is equal to, here integration of r will be r square by 2, and plus there will be a integration constant c1. Therefore it will be minus q dot r square divided by 2k plus c1, and c1 is the first integration constant. Now my dear students, if I take this r on the right side, then I will get temperature gradient. Therefore this dt by dr, temperature gradient, will be equal to minus q dot r divided by 2k. Here this r and this r square will get cancelled. Here only r will remain, plus c1 divided by r, right. This will be the temperature gradient, temperature gradient equation, temperature gradient equation. Name this equation as equation number 1. Name this equation as equation number 1. Now let us find the temperature profile. So my dear students, here I am going to solve for temperature profile. Now integrate this temperature gradient equation. Therefore if I integrate this equation, integration of dt by dr will be equal to integration minus q dot r divided by 2k plus c1 divided by r. Now here integration and differentiation will get cancelled. Therefore this temperature will become equal to, now integration of r will be r square by 2, q dot 2k will be constant. Therefore r square by 2, and 2 into 2 4, in denominator there will be a 4. Therefore minus q dot r square divided by 4k plus, now c1 is constant, integration of 1 upon r will be ln of r. Therefore c1 ln of r, and there will be new integration constant c2, one more integration constant c2, right. And this is my dear students temperature equation. This is temperature equation or temperature profile, and name this equation as equation number 2, right. Now my dear students, this c1 and c2 are the integration constants, and these integration constants we have to find from boundary condition. Now before looking at boundary condition, let us make here sufficient space for the solution. Now here I will keep only temperature gradient and temperature profile equations. Equation number 1 and equation number 2 I will write here, and after that we will see boundary conditions. So here the temperature gradient equation is dt by dr is equal to minus q dot r divided by 2k plus c1 by r, and the temperature profile equation is minus q dot r square divided by 4k plus c1 ln of r plus c2. Now this c1 and c2 are the integration constants to be determined from the boundary conditions. Let us understand the boundary conditions. Very first boundary condition, the first boundary condition will be whenever small r becomes equal to capital R, that is extreme surface, the temperature will become wall temperature. Therefore the temperature will become wall temperature, right. This will be the first boundary condition. My dear students, for second boundary condition, we have mentioned that the heat transfer is steady state. For steady state, the temperature is not a function of time. The temperature is not a function of time. That means the change in temperature with respect to time is zero. There will be no change in temperature with respect to time. Means at particular location, at any instant of time, temperature is always constant. That means the wall temperature is always constant, or at any location inside the cylinder, the temperature at that particular location is always constant for steady state condition. And my dear students, how we can maintain this steady state condition? Now inside this cylinder, the heat is generated. Right here we have seen the heat generated. Heat generated will be equal to, at the start of this session we have seen heat generated is nothing but uniform heat generation rate in watt per meter cube. This is a heat generated per unit volume. Therefore this Q dot into volume of cylinder, right? This is a heat generated inside the cylinder. Now my dear students, to maintain the steady state condition, whatever may be the heat generated in the cylinder, we have to lose this heat generated. Therefore this heat generated inside the cylinder is conducted through this cylinder. There will be a conduction like this. There will be a conduction initially. This is a conduction heat transfer, right? And after conduction from wall, it will be convected to the outside here. Therefore from the wall it is convected to the outside here like this. q convection q convection uh, to q convection to the outside here. And my dear students, here let us assume this outside air is subjected to temperature T infinity and convective heat transfer coefficient H, right? Where T infinity is the outside air temperature or outside fluid temperature, and H is a convective heat transfer coefficient of outside fluid. This convective heat transfer coefficient we are calculating in watt per meter square Kelvin. And because of the thermal conductivity of the cylinder, the heat is conducted through the cylinder, and K is the thermal conductivity in watt per meter Kelvin. Therefore simply we can say whatever may be the heat generated in the inside the cylinder is simply conducted through the cylinder and again convected through the cylinder to the outside fluid. Therefore for steady state conduction we can say heat generated must be equal to heat conducted through the cylinder must be equal to heat convected to the outside fluid right? This is how we can write here steady state condition. So let us equate this steady state condition. Now if I equate this steady state condition, heat generated is nothing but q dot into volume. Therefore q dot into volume is equal to heat conducted. Heat conducted is nothing but, as per Fourier law of conduction, it is minus ka dt by dr with respect to dr. And here for conduction we are considering perpendicular area to the direction of heat transfer. A is a perpendicular area to the direction of heat transfer. The direction of heat transfer is radial, and for radial direction the perpendicular area will be 2 pi r into L. Here this will be the perpendicular area, 2 pi r into L. This will be the perpendicular area to the direction of heat transfer, right? Now again is equal to heat convected to the outside fluid from T wall, which is equal to HA T wall minus T infinity, that is wall temperature minus fluid temperature. This is how convection heat transfer we are calculating. And A is here, in convection heat transfer the area is exposed area to outside air. Again my dear students, the perpendicular area to the direction of heat flow is 2 pi RL, as well as the exposed area for the convection is nothing but circumferential area. Therefore my dear students, we can say the area of conduction is equal to area of convection in the given case, which is equal to 2 pi r L, right? And my dear students, volume is nothing but pi r square, that is cross sectional area, into length pi r square into L. So let us put the values here, right? Therefore here we can write, let us make a sufficient space first. So my dear students, by the second boundary condition we can say here this heat generated, which is nothing but q dot into volume. Q dot into volume is pi r square into L is equal to heat conducted minus K dt by dr. Now minus K perpendicular area is circumferential area only for the direction of heat transfer, because heat transfer is not along axial, it is along radial direction. For axial direction, perpendicular area is pi r square, but for radial direction, perpendicular area is circumferential area. Therefore, it is 2 pi r into L into dt by dr is equal to, now convection, the convection area is H, again 2 pi r L T wall minus T infinity. Again, with the help of this equation, that is, if I equate first equation with last, then I will get wall temperature, right? And if I equate first with second, then I will get the first boundary condition. If I equate first with second, then I will get first boundary condition. From the here, pi r will get cancelled from both sides. Pi r L will get cancelled. Therefore, here we can cancel L 2. Sorry, 2 cannot be cancelled. Here 2 cannot be cancelled. Pi r is cancelled, so pi r and L will be cancelled. Therefore, we can say Q dot into capital R is equal to minus 2k dt by dr, right? So, my dear students, from this we will get dt by dr at r is equal to capital R. This area we have considered whenever r is equal to capital R, na. Here the volume as well as area we have considered whenever r is equal to capital R. Therefore, dt by dr, whenever r is equal to capital R, it becomes equal to minus q dot r divided by 2k, right? This is very much important boundary condition, my dear students. Here, this is a temperature profile whenever radial distance becomes equal to capital R, that is radius of cylinder, that is minus q dot capital R divided by 2k. Now, let us equate with equation number 1. Here we have equation number 1, right? Now, my dear students, from the equation number 1, this dt by dr is equal to, whenever small r is equal to capital R, put instead of small r capital R, it will become minus q dot capital R divided by 2k plus c1 divided by capital R, and is equal to, from the boundary condition we have derived as minus q dot R divided by 2k. Let us equate, is equal to minus q dot capital R divided by 2k. Now, from both sides, minus q dot R divided by 2k minus q dot R divided by 2k will get cancelled. Therefore, we can say C1 divided by R is equal to 0. And now, my dear students, in this expression, we can say this radius of cylinder cannot be equal to infinite. The radius of cylinder will be having finite value. Therefore, the C1 must be equal to 0 for this expression to be equal to 0. Therefore, the first integration constant, that is C1 is equal to 0, that we will get, right? Now, let us put this C1 is equal to 0 in equation number 1 and equation number 2. Therefore, this temperature equation, in this temperature equation, here C1 by R term will get cancelled. C1 by R term will get cancelled, and in temperature equation, C1 ln of R will be get cancelled. Therefore, my dear students, the temperature gradient will become dt by dr will be equal to minus q dot R divided by 2k. This is the first expression, and temperature will be equal to minus q dot R square divided by 4k plus C2. This will be our second expression, right? These two expressions are replaced with the help of these expressions. So, my dear students, now for analysis, we will use our new expressions, right? These two derived expressions we are going to use for the analysis. So here, these are our two new equations. Now, my dear students, again we have third boundary condition. It is third boundary condition for temperature to be maximum temperature. The change in temperature with respect to radius must be equal to 0. So, my dear students, put this third boundary condition in first equation, right? Therefore, for temperature to be maximum, dt by dr, which is equal to minus q dot R divided by 2k, must be equal to 0. Now, my dear students, in this expression, this thermal conductivity will be having some finite value. K cannot be infinite, and this q dot is also cannot be 0 because it is a heat generation problem. Therefore, there will be some amount of heat generated, and k is having finite value. Therefore, for equation to be 0, this R must be equal to 0. Therefore, whenever temperature becomes maximum temperature, then radius will be equal to 0. That means on the axis, here on the axis, the temperature will be maximum temperature. So, my dear students, this is very interesting boundary condition, the maximum temperature will be on axis, that is at center line, right? So let us this put boundary condition in equation number 2, right? Therefore we will get the temperature is equal to minus q dot r square divided by 4k plus C2. Now whenever R becomes 0, temperature will become maximum. Therefore from this, maximum temperature will be equal to C2 because R is 0 here, right? So my dear students, again put this maximum temperature value in the equation number 2. Therefore the temperature equation will get temperature is equal to minus q dot R square divided by 4k, right? Minus q dot small r square divided by 4k plus maximum temperature, right? And the maximum temperature will be at center line or axis, on the axis of the cylinder. And my dear students, this is a temperature profile. This is a final temperature profile equation. Therefore, my dear students, the final temperature profile equation is temperature at any location is equal to minus q dot r square divided by 4k plus maximum temperature. This will be the final temperature profile equation. Therefore, from this equation, can I say temperature is directly proportional to r square, right? And as r is increasing, temperature is decreasing because it is negative sign. Negative means decrease, no, right? Therefore, the temperature is directly proportional to r square, and temperature increases from wall to center or decreases from axis to wall. Decreases from axis to wall, right? So, my dear students, we will get the maximum temperature minus temperature at any location is equal to plus q dot r square divided by 4k. Right? This q dot r square I am considering on left side and this t on right side. Then equation will become like this. Right? Now, my dear students, again very first boundary condition we have, that is whenever this r small r becomes equal to capital R, then temperature becomes equal to wall temperature, right? It is a wall temperature T wall, right? Whenever small r becomes equal to capital R. So let us put here, therefore maximum temperature minus wall temperature will be equal to plus q dot capital R square divided by 4k. And my dear students, in GATE examination or in any competitive examination, straightforward direct question they will ask on this result. That is, what is the maximum temperature minus wall temperature for a cylinder? It is q dot R square divided by 4k, right? Or they will ask what is the temperature difference at axis and on wall. It will be q dot R square divided by 4k. Now, my dear students, in case of plane slab, we have derived this formula as maximum temperature minus wall temperature in case of plane slab will be equal to q dot L square divided by 2k. Here there is 2k for plane slab, and for cylinder there is a 4k. Remember this difference. Such like by comparing, we have to remember always these things, right? In plane slab, in one of the previous lectures, I have derived this expression. Here, in case of cylinder, we have derived this expression. So let us remember this expression, very important. So my dear students, let us draw the temperature profile for the cylinder. If I draw a cylinder, let us say this is a cylinder, right? For this cylinder, we are going to draw temperature profile. Here, this is the axis of cylinder. This will be the axis of cylinder, right? And my dear students, on this axis, there will be a maximum temperature. Therefore, let us say the maximum temperature at this location, maximum temperature we have seen, right? And on wall, there will be a wall temperature like this. On both side wall, there will be a wall temperature like this. And temperature distribution we got as here. This is the temperature profile. It is maximum temperature minus temperature at any location is equal to plus q dot r square divided by 4k, right? Therefore temperature is directly proportional to r square. Therefore the distribution will be parabolic. This type of distribution is called parabolic, right? And the maximum temperature will be at axis and the minimum temperature will be on wall. Therefore the heat will flow from maximum temperature to minimum temperature. Therefore heat will flow from axis to wall parabolically. The heat will flow from axis to wall parabolically. Therefore this flow will be parabolic. Therefore my dear students, the temperature will decrease from axis to wall parabolically, right? And the maximum temperature will be on axis, right? Now my dear students, in case of wires, that the wires, current carrying wires used in your home, in case of wires, because of current flowing through the wire, the maximum temperature is generated on the axis, that is at center of wire. Therefore my dear students, if this heat generated increases beyond particular limit, then the maximum temperature increases beyond the melting temperature. Therefore whenever melting starts for the cylindrical wires, the melting always starts from the maximum temperature which is at the axis. Therefore, the melting of wire always starts from the axis, and the same condition we will say short circuit of current. Thank you, dear students. In next lecture, we will see numerical on this topic.